If you're serious about food independence, you've probably been told to get chickens or goats. They're the poster children of self-sufficiency, the first animals everyone seems to recommend. But what if I told you that the most popular choices might actually be holding you back? What if the key to breaking free from the system, to achieving real, practical food security, was something else entirely? There's an animal that's quieter and more efficient, and can produce more meat in less space than either of them. And today, I'm going to show you the one animal that the self-sufficiency gurus aren't talking about enough, and how it can help you truly reclaim your food supply. Let's get one thing straight. Chickens and goats are fantastic animals. I'm not here to knock them. They definitely have a place on a homestead. But we need to be honest about their drawbacks, especially for the average person who doesn't have unlimited space and a bottomless budget. Let's start with chickens. They're often called a gateway animal to homesteading. And for good reason. Those fresh eggs are a game changer. But when it comes to meat, the story shifts. The most common meat breeds, Cornish cross hybrids, aren't self-sustaining. You have to buy new chicks from a hatchery every single time you want another batch of meat birds. That isn't independence. That's just swapping your dependency on the grocery store for a dependency on the hatchery. Then there's the space issue. Chickens need a secure coop and a decent-sized run to be happy and healthy. In a small backyard, that can eat up a huge chunk of your property. And don't get me started on their manure. It's incredibly rich in nitrogen, which is great, but it's also hot. You can't put it directly on your garden, or you'll burn your plants to a crisp. It has to be carefully composted, which is just another chore on your already long list. Now, how about goats? Goats are charismatic, great for clearing brush, and can give you both milk and meat. But they are escape artists of the highest order. They need tough, expensive fencing and a good bit of pasture browse. They simply aren't a small space animal. A suburban backyard just won't cut it. And just like chickens, their manure is also hot and has to be composted before you can use it to build your soil. Plus, their breeding cycle is slower and more seasonal. For so many people dreaming of a self-sufficient life, these hurdles, the space, the ongoing costs, the infrastructure, can feel like a brick wall. They make food independence seem like a far-off dream, reserved only for people with plenty of land and money. But it doesn't have to be that way. The solution is quiet. It's compact. It's unbelievably productive. And it just might be the most underrated animal in the entire homesteading world. The animal that can truly unlock food independence for the average person is the rabbit. Now, before you click away, just hear me out. For generations, rabbits were a backyard staple for a very good reason. They fell out of favor when industrial agriculture took over, but people are finally rediscovering just how perfect they are for a sustainable, self-reliant food system. They solve nearly every problem we just talked about. They are the quiet, efficient, and practical key to producing your own protein. The single biggest roadblock for most aspiring homesteaders is space. This is where rabbits don't just win. They rewrite the rules completely. You don't need acreage. You don't need a barn. You don't even need a big yard. Rabbits can be raised in simple, vertically stacked hutches that can fit in a garage, on a patio, or in a tiny corner of your backyard. A breeding trio, that's 2 females does, and 1 male buck, can be housed in a space no bigger than a large closet. Think about that for a second. Compare the cost and effort of building a small hutch system to putting up a predator-proof chicken coop and run, or installing hundreds of feet of goat-proof fencing. The startup cost is a fraction of the price, making it accessible to almost anyone. For those in suburbs or even cities, this is huge. They're incredibly quiet, so your neighbors won't even know they're there. This isn't just about being small scale, it's about being smart scale. If you want to break free from the system, you have to break free from its inputs, and that means feed. This is another area where rabbits are in a league of their own. Pound for pound, rabbits are one of the most efficient animals at converting feed into meat. The typical feed conversion ratio is about 3 to 4 pounds of feed to produce 1 pound of meat. But here's the really crucial part. They don't have to eat expensive, store-bought pellets. While a good quality pellet provides balanced nutrition, rabbits are natural foragers. You can feed them on hay, grass, dandelions, clover, and other safe-to-eat weeds from your yard. They also love a huge variety of scraps from your garden: carrot tops, beet greens, kale stems, you name it. This means you can essentially feed your protein source for free, especially in the growing season. You're turning things you'd normally compost or toss out into high-quality protein. That's a truly closed-loop system. When we talk about food security, what we really want is a system that's reliable and productive. Chickens give you eggs, which is great, but rabbits provide a consistent, predictable, and rapidly multiplying source of meat. The numbers are pretty mind-blowing. A healthy doe is a prolific breeder and can produce 5 or more litters a year. With an average of 6 to 8 kits per litter, a single female could produce 30 to 40 offspring annually. With 2 does, you could easily be looking at 60 to 80 rabbits a year. And the turnaround is incredibly fast. Rabbits grow to a harvestable fryer weight in just 8 to 12 weeks. This means from the day a doe is bred, you're only about 3 months away from fresh meat on your table. You can plan your breeding schedule to ensure a steady supply all year long, which is much harder to do with the seasonal breeding of larger animals. You're not just raising meat, you're producing on demand. So what's the meat actually like? If you've never had it, you're in for a pleasant surprise. Rabbit isn't a strong or gamey meat. It's a mild, tender, and delicious white meat, very similar in taste and texture to chicken breast. It's incredibly versatile and can be roasted, fried, grilled, or stewed in pretty much any recipe that calls for chicken. Nutritionally, it's a powerhouse. Rabbit meat is one of the leanest, healthiest meats you can eat. It's exceptionally high in protein, even higher than beef, pork, or chicken, while being very low in fat and cholesterol. It's a clean, nutrient-dense food that you have complete control over from start to finish. This might be the most powerful reason of all, the one that truly weaves rabbits into a self-sufficient homestead. We talk about the problem with hot manure from chickens and goats. Well, rabbit manure is different. It's considered a cold manure. This means it doesn't need to be aged or composted. You can take the droppings directly from under the hutch and apply them right to your garden beds as fertilizer. It will not burn your plants. In fact, it's one of the most perfectly balanced soil amendments you can find, packed with nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. It builds amazing soil structure, and earthworms absolutely go crazy for it. A single doe and her litters can produce a ton of this black gold manure in a year. This creates the perfect loop. Your garden produces scraps to feed the rabbits, and the rabbits produce the perfect fertilizer to supercharge your garden. You're not just producing meat. You're building fertility and boosting your vegetable yields at the same time, completely cutting out the need to buy bags of fertilizer from a store. So, what do you think? Have I convinced you to give rabbits a second look? I'm genuinely curious. What animals are you raising on your homestead? Or what's the one animal you're dreaming of adding to reach your self-sufficiency goals? Let me know in the comments below. I try to read every single one, and I love hearing about your journey. The goal of food independence isn't about trying to replicate a giant farm in your backyard. It's about being smart, efficient, and resilient. It's about choosing the tools that give you the most bang for your buck in terms of space, money, and effort. While chickens and goats have their place, when you look at the whole picture, the tiny footprint, the incredible feed efficiency, the rapid breeding, the healthy meat, and the soil-building magic of their manure, the rabbit really stands alone. They are the quiet workhorse of self-sufficiency, a complete system for protein and fertility, all packed into one small, manageable animal. If you are tight on space, serious about producing your own food, and truly want to break free from rely on outside systems, then a rabbit is the #1 animal I would recommend for you. It's time we stop overlooking this incredible animal and start embracing the power of the rabbit.